Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans, I'm Keith One Shot, and this is my dramatic reading series, and today we will be covering Justice League Legacy Part 5 from DC Comics. We start this story off in Midway City, where we see the darkness has begun infecting Wonder Woman. We then hear the darkness inside of Diana's head say, "Kill them all! No! Tear them apart! Feel them bleed! Feel them die! Hear them scream! No! Kill them! No! You will! Starting with him!" Then Steve Trevor approaches Wonder Woman as he says to her, "Diana! Diana! Can you hear me?" Then Cruz says, "Hunter, you see that?" And Hunter replies, "I see it, Cruz. I can hear it. Darkness. It's already here." Simon Baz then puts a green energy construct between Steve and Diana. Then Simon says, "Back!" Then the voice says, "Kill him!" Simon then says, "Don't want to kill you, Steve." Then the voice says, "Yes, you do. Make him scream first." Then Steve says, "Simon!" Then suddenly, Jason and Jenny jump in front of Steve and power up with red and yellow energy. Then Jason shouts, "Stand down, Baz! Me and Jenny got the green beaten!" Then Jenny shouts, "Jason's red and my yellow can shred anything you've got." The voice of darkness then screams at Simon Baz, "Kill them! Kill everyone!" Then a soldier says, "All you kids stand down now, or we'll use lethal force." Steve Trevor then puts his hand up in the air. Then he says, "Everybody stand down! You hear me? Everybody!" Then the voice says, "Kill them! Kill them all!" Hunter then turns to Steve and tells him, "It's the darkness. It wants us to kill each other. That's what it does. What it did to the whole world." Then Steve replies, "Right? And just who the hell are you kids?" Then Cruz says, "We're from the future. The Justice League are our parents." Then Steve replies, "That makes today a whole lot better. I'm guessing with what you're wearing, you're Flash's daughter, and these two light beams are related to either Baz here or Cruz." Then Cruz replies, "Close enough." And Cube tells Steve, "I'm Cube, Cyborg's son." Then Steve replies, "Of course you are." Then Cube says, "And that's Hunter's mother," as he points at Diana. Steve then says, "Hunter, huh? Diana's your mother. Who's your father?" Then Hunter replies, "Not you." Steve then turns around and says, "All of you step back. I need to find out what's happened to Diana." Then Cruz says, "Hunter, told you, it's the darkness. In the time we're from, it infected everyone and nearly destroyed the world." Then Cube says, "We came back to fix it, but got sent back to the wrong time somehow." Then Hunter tells Steve, "We think she's involved in what happens to the future, but it shouldn't be happening yet. This is all wrong." Then Steve replies, "What do you mean?" Then Cube says, "We were born years from now, and grew up a bit before any of this started happening." Then Steve tells the young heroes, "In my experience, folks coming back from the future to fix things usually end up making things worse." Then Jenny says, "You think this is our fault?" Then Steve replies, "You all tumbled in here, and this just started happening." "Yeah, probably." Then Cruz looks at Hunter and says, "Hunter, are you okay?" Hunter then holds his head and says, "I can hear it now, so loud. Can't you? I know what it's saying." Then we hear a voice cry out, "Kill them! Not that one! Not Hunter! A child! Nurture him! Kill the rest! Kill them now!" We then go to Mount Olympus, newly off the coast of Amnesty Bay, where we see that Sovereign herself has now arrived in the present time. As she holds her staff in the air, she says, "You have found her." We then see Sovereign land down in front of Mara, Serenity, and Cyber Curry. Then Serenity shouts, "Mom, we have to go. This is bad. Really bad. That's Sovereign. She rules the future. What's left of it?" Then Mara says, "Who is she? That Arthur bends his knees to her." Sovereign then answers Mara by saying, "I am his queen." Mara then stands defiantly and shouts, "Yes, well I'm going to be his queen, and his wife one day." Sovereign then tells Mara, "Do you think that mattered to him when the future came crashing down on the world? Do you think he chose you?" Then Serenity charges a magic spell and shouts, "I know what happened, witch." Then Sovereign replies, "Do you? Do you think by coming here, you found yourself a moment of hope? I could take it away from you with a thought. If you were there this time, if you saw your mother die, would your hope die too, as mine did once?" Then Mara says, "Try it. Let's see what dies." Then Sovereign replies, "There's no need for this. It's not why we're here. Did you see your husband and wondered what had happened to him in the years to come? Did she tell you? Did your daughter tell you it was she who did this to him?" Then Mara turns to Serenity and says, "What's she talking about, Serenity?" Then Serenity replies, "Mom, I..." Then Sovereign tells Curry, "Tell her, Arthur. Tell your wife what your daughter did." Then Curry says, "Sovereign." And Sovereign shouts, "Tell her!" Curry then tells Mara, "After what happened to you, Serenity used her magic to banish me from the seas. I didn't die, no matter how thirsty or dry I was. Water was forbidden to me. I was forced to scavenge body parts from a dead friend to survive. Then Mara says, Cyborg, you're wearing Victor? Oh, Arthur, no. Then, Sovereign says to Serenity, where's your hope now? Sovereign then opens a portal, and Curry says to her, your daughter, Sovereign. I'll take you to her. It's what you came for. Then the two walk through the portal. We then see Mara walking behind them, towards the portal. Then Serenity says, Mom, wait. Where are you going? Then Mara replies, wherever he goes. We then jump over to Batman, who's flying in the Batplane, several miles away from Amnesty Bay, where we hear Batman say, Genie, have you found Victor yet? And Genie replies, not exactly. Then Batman says, meaning? And Genie replies, I have two signals that are almost cyborg, but not exactly. Batman then says, one of those will be Curry. He was wearing prosthetic armor. That was Victor's. Then Genie replies, that's what my scans indicated during the attack on you in the cave. That signal has just vanished from the location I detected. Then Batman says, boom tube. And the other? Then Genie answers, scans match the ones taken when the future children of the Justice League came aboard the Watchtower. Then Batman says, give me the coordinates. Then Genie replies, yes, Bruce. Then Batman tells Genie, I've got the mask on. Call me Batman. And Genie replies, yes, Bruce. Meanwhile, back in Midway City, we see an infected Wonder Woman walking towards Steve Trevor and the Young Heroes. Then Steve says, stay back, everybody. Stay calm. This is Diana, remember? Wonder Woman. I trust her. Then Diana reaches out to Steve, as she says to him, Steve, I can't hold the darkness back for long. If I let go, it will wash violence and destruction over the whole world. It'll possess everybody. What it did here, it will do everywhere. I've seen it. It's already done it. Then Steve replies, I don't understand. Done it where? Diana then gets closer to Steve, as she says to him, the future. It came back with the children. Our children from the future. It was already growing here, but with what it's learned from its own future, it's stronger now than it should be. Steve then says, can we stop it? And Diana replies, no, we already tried in the future, and we all died. Steve then turns around and says to Hunter, what can we do? Then Diana says, him, Hunter, keep him safe. Then Steve replies, what? Why? Because he's your son? Then Diana tells Steve, because he's the only one it doesn't want me to kill. Then suddenly, a boom tube opens up in the sky, and out comes Sovereign. As Sovereign lands, she knocks back several soldiers as she makes her way towards the Young Heroes. Then Steve Trevor says, the hell? Hunter then shouts, Sovereign, she's here. Then Cruz says, scatter. We then hear the voice of darkness calling out, wait, watch, learn. A fight then begins to break out. Then suddenly out of the boom tube comes Mara, Serenity, and Cyber Curry. As Mara lands, she says, gods. Curry then tells Serenity, don't get involved. Then Serenity replies, get off of me. They're my friends. More like family than you ever were. Then Mara turns to Curry and says, there are children, Arthur. I can't stand by. Can you? Then Mara and Serenity join the fight against Sovereign. As he stands there, Curry says to himself, damn it. We then see Diana looking down as she hears the voice of darkness say, do you remember our future? Do you remember after we spread the darkness across the world that she came? Do you remember the brutality with which she ruled? Then Diana says, I remember. Then the voice says, no compassion, no mercy. She had no need for our strength. She had a darkness of her own, born of pain, born of loss. She inflicted that pain upon what was left of the world. Now, she's here to do it again. Watch, learn, there is a connection to make. Combined, we could bring so much suffering to all life. Watch. Then Simon Baz says, it's fading, like it's shifted focus. I think I can. Gah! Then, he shines his Green Lantern light, freeing him from the darkness's grasp. Then Simon Baz flies over and shines his Green Lantern light onto Sovereign as he yells, everybody, listen up! Coordinated attacks! Make it count, you kids! Let's make your parents proud! We then go to an area that is pure darkness, where we see that Barry Allen, Jessica Cruz, Cyborg, and Clark Kent are all there. Then we hear Barry Allen say, where the hell are we, Jess? Then Cyborg says, Barry, Clark, what hit us? Then Clark says, kryptonite, red solar flare radiation. Then Jessica says, and somebody that looked like an old Aquaman wearing Victor's body. Then Cyborg tells them all, the scans my system took seem to back that up. Looks like we're in a sort of pocket of folded space, inside of a boom tube wormhole. Didn't know I could do that. Then Barry says, can you get us out? And Cyborg replies, yeah, think so. Wait a minute. Then Clark says, what is it, Vic? And Cyborg replies, there's a file here. a message in my systems. It wasn't here before I was attacked. It's marked urgent. Then Jessica says, can you play it? Then Cyborg says, it's from him, from Aquaman. Then Cyborg shows him all the message of Cyber Curry saying, I came here to kill you. Sovereign wanted you dead. She thought you'd stand in her way. She thought anything but lethal force, and you would stop her from doing what she came to this time to do. So I came back with her to kill you all. Then Barry says, holy crap! Then Cyber Curry's message goes on to say, I am not the man I was when you knew me. The world went to hell, and I went with it. Then I came back here, and I saw you all again, especially Mara, and I felt something I hadn't felt in so many dark years. Hope! Sovereign has to be stopped. There's only one life in this world that matters to her. When the darkness scoured the world, Sovereign lost that life to it. She has made what remained of the world feel that pain and loss every single day. She came here, following our children, because like them, she saw a chance to change things. Now so do I. I'm leaving you a signal to find me. Where I am, Sovereign will be. She has fought and killed gods, and she is here for one reason only. She's here for Diana. For years, I lived in the shadow of darkness and despair. Now I have hope. Be what I wasn't. Be the heroes I remember. Save us all. We then go back to the battle against Sovereign, where Cyber Curry has now joined the fight, as he stomps Sovereign into the ground. Then Simon Baz says, we got her, everybody! Then Sovereign slashes at Simon Baz. Then Diana screams, no! We then hear the voice of darkness say, do you see it yet? Do you know? Then Sovereign strikes her spear into the ground, which shoots out a red energy blast that knocks everyone back. As the smoke settles, we see that only Sovereign and Wonder Woman are the only two left standing. Then Diana walks up to Sovereign. Sovereign then removes her helmet to reveal that she is actually Queen Hippolyta. As Diana sees this, she says, Mother! Then Steve Trevor stands up and says, Hippolyta! Oh, Diana! Then Hunter says, I didn't know! Then suddenly, a boom tube opens up in the sky, and out flies Superman, Cyborg, Jessica Cruz, and the Flash! Then, Jessica sees Simon on the ground, covered in blood, from the wound that Sovereign inflicted on him. Then Jessica says, oh my god! Simon! Please no! We then hear the voice of darkness, inside of Diana's head, saying to her, can you see what I remember? Can you see how little all life but yours mattered to her? Can you feel the remorse that she could not? Then, Sovereign puts her hand on Diana's shoulder as she tells Diana, daughter, we will leave this world to die. It does not deserve you. Then, the darkness inside of Diana says, now, share her pain. Bring your friends to the darkness inside you. We will take away their compassion, their reason. Let hatred and violence rule their thoughts as they now rule yours. Now go and kill everyone in the whole world. Then, a huge wave of darkness pours out of Diana and starts to infect Cyborg, Flash, Jessica Cruz, Mara, and Superman. Then, Diana screams out in a rage, and that ends today's story. Comic published by DC Comics. All rights, story art, and characters belong to DC Comics and their respective owners. Not me. This has been Justice League Legacy Part 5, and I'm your host, Keith One Shot. If you like this video, make sure to check out the rest of my Comic Complete dramatic reading series, and support DC Comics by picking up a copy of the trades and single issue comics. Support your local comic book shop, take care, and have a great day. Goodbye!